He's been called a traitor, a philosopher, a prophet, and an economist. He predicted the financial crisis and says we've learned nothing from the experience. He's the author of Fooled by Randomness and the Black Swan. He has little but scorn for the media and says he doesn't bother listening to journalist questions, but he's here anyway. He's Nassim Taleb, and we're glad to have him. Nassim, a lot of questions to ask you, but let's start with this because this has been in the news lately, and I just have to address it. This trade conducted by a hedge fund firm that you advise, UNIVERSA'S, last week, attributed, at least by the Wall Street Journal, for part of the cause of last week's so-called flash crash. We're talking about 50,000 put options here with a value of $7.5 million with an M in the middle of a market meltdown that cost exchanges something in the order of $1 trillion in market value. How can we possibly reconcile those two events?
First, I'm answering, this question because you're asking, but I have absolutely no idea what Universa did, and I'm not connected, so so I cannot provide an answer as the Nassim that's connected to Universa. Okay. However, I can answer one. I'm going to give you an explanation that's in the book. Is that when a bridge collapses, you don't look at the last truck that was on it. You look at the engineer, right? You go look for structural
signs of wear and tear, structural flaws.
Yeah, exactly. So this is the only thing I can say is that you're focusing on me for two wrong reasons. The first one, my connection to Universa doesn't give me that information, and the second one is that you're looking for the straw that broke the camel's back, all right? Let's not worry about the straw.
Maybe there was something wrong with the camel.
Focus on the back, exactly.
All right. Look, I'm not trying to be accusatory about it. It's just that I can't ignore the fact that Universa was linked to this trade. You advise Universa, that's all. So we've gotten that out of the way.
Okay,
I understand how you feel.
Now we can talk about more important things. Yeah.
I'm sure.
But, yeah.
So let's talk about for a moment this. You became famous effectively for predicting the financial crisis in your book, The Black Swan, but in the new section that you've added, an essay at the back of the book, the paperback edition, you say, and I found this quite surprising, that the crisis of 2008 wasn't a Black Swan event.
Yes.
Explain that.
A black swan is something that depends on the observer, okay? For a terrorist, 9/11 was not a black swan. For someone in the towers, it was a black swan. So when the thing for the turkey, you see, Thanksgiving is a black swan, but not for the butcher. So my idea, I don't hold the risk management, by banks and the economic theories in high respect. So I think they create fragility, and I had detected fragility in the banking system and fragility in a lot of areas of economic activities that were undetected. Continuing from there, the same fragility still there, okay? It persists. We need to do something about it. I think we wasted a couple of years since the meltdown, almost a couple of years since subprime and the meltdown. We wasted a couple of years, and the risks, in fact, have increased. So the same fragility I detected when I wrote The Black Swan about accumulation of hidden risks has increased. And it has taken a much more vicious form, and this is what I'm worried about, not what happens on a Thursday in Chicago, all right?
Okay, so we have about 60 seconds to go until we have to take a quick break, then we'll continue the conversation. But is that what you mean when you say we've effectively learned nothing from our experience in the crisis?
Yeah, people learn specific causes, don't learn structural problems. And in fact, the system was becoming very fragile for two reasons. Number one, a lot more theories, okay, that have absolutely no empirical evidence have been used by the economic establishment for some strange reasons, sort of like a sucker's game. And the second one, the world, because of globalization, became vastly more interconnected and hence vastly less predictable.
Less predictable.
Less predictable. You have the degradation of predictability that has been exacerbated by the internet and world trade.